Exodia Obliterate!
What is up YouTube? This is Yugi Penguin. As you can see in front of you, I have my very fun Exodia deck profile for you today. When I say it's really fun, it means there's no extra deck, there's no side deck. You just play the deck. It's a very stalling deck. It's very trap heavy. It will annoy your opponent to the brink that they might not even want to play against you. It's not a one-turn win unless you draw all 5 pieces, obviously. It's just a deck that stalls. It's just a deck, you know, it's like I said, it's built for fun, and you know, you can use this as a guideline to what you want to play, but I just find this really fun to play. And let's just get into the deck profile. Obviously, the deck won't be a deck without all 5 pieces of Exodia. Without it, you cannot play Exodia, and you cannot win a duel if you have no pieces. Basically, if you took out 2 arms and a leg, you basically got a paraplegic, disabled Exodia, and you can't really play like that. So you need all 5 pieces of Exodia. Next up, you can play 2 legendary Exodia Incarnates. You can up this to a 3rd if you wish, but I'm playing the deck at 45 cards. Exodia Incarnate, basically, you can tribute a piece if you've normal summoned it for a special summon of this guy, and he will gain 1000 attack and defense for every piece that are in the graveyard. But obviously, he is unaffected by card effects. He is Exodia himself. But once per turn during the end phase, just remember that you actually will have to take an Forbidden 1 piece from your graveyard and add it back to your hand. But when he is destroyed by a battle and sent to a graveyard, you can actually take as many Forbidden 1 card monsters that are in your hand, basically, and you draw 1 card for each. So he's got a very nice effect. Next, I play 2 Mask of Darknesses. Obviously, this is very self-explanatory. It's a very old school card. Mask of Darkness, you just select 1 trap card from your graveyard and return it back to your hand. Most of the time, it will be a Mirror Falls or a Gravity Bind or Obliterate, which is the best card in the deck. Same again with Magician of Faith. I only play the 1. I don't really think it's necessary to play it anymore unless you're playing it just to get Messenger of Peace. But you can actually loop Magician of Faith and Mask of Darkness with Obliterate, because Obliterate you can send a card back to your hand. So obviously you would flip Magician of Faith, flip Mask of Darkness, then activate Obliterate, bring them back to your hand, and then you can just reset them back on the field. I also play 2 Battle Faders. You know, you can play 3 if you wish. Again, I'm keeping the deck at 45. I'm trying to get Exodia as quick as I can in my hand. Unless you want to play it the other way, where Incarnate is on the field and you have 5000 attack and you just go all out from there. The most annoying card in the world, I mean, I hate this card. Neo-Spatian Grand Mole. It's just... whoever invented that is an evil person. At the start of the damage step, if that battle is an opponent's monster, you send both back cards to your hand. Obviously, Mirror Force can stop it. All different kinds of Mirror Forces will stop that. But you know, if your opponent doesn't have that and they don't know what you're playing, Neo-Spatian Grand Mole is at 1 for a reason. And then I play 1 Curry Bandit. So during the end phase, if this was normal summoned, I can excavate the top 5 cards on my deck and add 1 excavated spell or trap card. Most of the time I will bring back either Gold Sarcophagus to just banish and just bring back a piece after 2 turns, or you can just bring back Dark Factory and Mass Production should you have 2 pieces in your graveyard. Unfortunately, we can only play the 1 Sangan, so obviously when he is sent from the field to the graveyard, add 1 monster with 1500 less attack from your deck to your hand. Self-explanatory, you would bring an Exodia piece. Last 2 monsters, Big Shield Gardener, just a stall card, and Marshmallow, another stall card. That's it for the monsters. Okay, now for the spell lineup. We play 2 Gold Sarcophagus. Again, if you guys don't know what this card does, you would banish 1 card from your deck. It can be any card face up. During your second standby phase, after this card's activation, you can bring the card back to your hand. I will then play 2 Dark Factory and Mass Productions, as explained to you. Basically, you target 2 monsters in your normal monsters in your graveyard, add those targets to your hand. It's important that it's normal monsters because the pieces of Exodia will be in the graveyard most of the time. This is, I mean, it's been a while since anyone has seen this card. Maybe you haven't seen it, but I'm going to introduce you to it. This is Card Trader. Very cool card, sorry about the glare that is on the camera, but once per turn during your standby phase you can shuffle 1 card from your hand into your deck, draw 1 card. Because it's a continuous spell card, I think it's a fantastic card, and most of the time I would just bring this back for more draw power with Magician of Faith. I play One Day of Peace. I wish I could have two of these right now, but each player draws one card and neither player takes damage until the end of the next turn. I'm going to step this card up to 2 also, but I'm also playing a Magical Mallet. Very cool card. You just add any number of cards from your hand to the deck and then shuffle it and then draw the same number of cards. Fantastic card. I think you can just draw into your Exodia as much as you want, really. I play the 1 Messenger of Peace, so this is where your stalling comes into play. So Messenger of Peace, monsters with 1500 or more attack cannot declare an attack, and once per turn during your standby phase, it's a small cost, you pay 100 life points, or you just destroy the card. Fantastic card also. Monster Reincarnation, you would discard 1 card, target 1 monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Normally it would be the pieces of Exodia. You can bring back a Battle Fader. You can bring back any monster that's in this deck if you want, just to keep the game stalled. Most of the time I would just bring Sangan back to my hand, because Sangan will just give you another piece of Exodia from your deck. I wish I boosted Monster Reincarnation up to 2 or 3 now, because you're trying to get Exodia as quick as you can, but you want to have fun with the deck at the same time. Let's say I play the 1 Swords of Revealing Light. Self-explanatory. 1 Lightning Vortex, discard 1 card, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls. You know, self-explanatory card. I don't care much for this card, but I will play the 1 Marshmallow Glasses. I mean, you just want like, if you just want Marshmallow on the field, basically, and he's the only one that can be attacked, then why not? Then we'll move on to the trap lineup. Best card in the deck, Triple Obliterate. I don't recommend that you run it any less than 3. 3 is enough, basically. 3 obliterates, so you can go kapowie, kazam, you know, all that kind of shit that you want to do to your opponent and destroy their cards. So obliterate, you know, once that's sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, you can add a Forbidden 1 monster from your graveyard back to your hand. 2 Reckless Greeds. Basically you draw 2 cards and after that you skip your next 2 draw phases. If you've got both in your hand and you set them both and then activate them on your opponent's turn, you know, you're only missing 2 draws, basically. 1 Torrential Tribute, because I'm evil. 1 Backup Soldier, you know, just if there are 5 or more monsters in your graveyard, you just target, you know, 3 pieces, let's say, and then you'd basically add them to your hand. So it's a really quick way of getting Exodia pieces in your hand. 1 Magic Cylinder, very, you know, no one really plays Magic Cylinder anymore because battle traps are very extinct at the minute, I'd say, because there's a lot of, you know, hand trap plays these days, counter traps, counter fairies are in play. So not many people play Magic Cylinder or just like Magic Mirror Forces in general or Enchanted Javelins, you know, like the old school 2004, 2002 format, you know, the greatest of all time format, I call it. And then Grand Horn of Heaven, very, very shiny, you know, negate a monster special summon, and you know your opponent draws 1 card. Not important, no. Hopefully by then you would have the pieces of Exodia that you need. 1 Heavy Storm Duster, because although you can't conduct your battle phase, you won't actually ever be throwing an attack at your opponent, which actually stops all their battle traps, it stops all their effects from activating. You know, you can just target up to 2 spells or traps. It works as your Twin Twisters, but you don't actually have to worry about conducting your battle phase, because unless you have Exodia Incarnate, you know, he's unaffected. I believe you can still attack with him, even though it says you can't conduct, but he's unaffected. To be honest, I don't think it works like that, but don't quote me on that. 1 Gravity Bind, you can up that to 2 if you wish. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. 1 Draining Shield. Like I said, I warned you guys, this deck is really trap heavy. Again, Draining Shield, one of the old school cards. I just play a lot of old school cards in this deck because I'm an old school player. I'm from the 2000s, bitch, you know. Negate the attack of one of your opponent's monsters and increase your life points by the attacking monster. Hey, if they've got like, you know, a 12,000 attacker on the field, you're gaining those life points. Why not? Mirror Force, another old school card, Rabaku. Who remembers Rabaku? Who actually owns a Rabaku? Please let me know in the comment section. Imperial Iron Wall, that's up to you really. Neither player can banish cards. It's up to you. And last but not least, I just play the 1 Mind Haxer. So you pay 500 life points, look at your opponent's hand, and all set cards on his or her side of the field. So you know what plays to make in that time. I'm surprised that it was never banned, because you're kind of, you know, you're outing your opponent in a way. Your opponent can't really do much if you're going around their plays and knowing what they have on the field. So guys, if you did enjoy this really short deck profile, it's really fun, please leave a like. There's my fat thumb as always. Basically, I'm going to leave a replay at the end of the duel just to show the deck in action. My opponent did not expect me to play Exodia, so when I did, they didn't actually have a clue, and I won the duel. So I'll end that with this replay, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!